up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they ride, Head full of flies, so here come the clouds, They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost, Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Oh, I guess the song's over. I guess the song's over. I went down to look for coffee and I was like, there's no coffee left. It's all gone. No. Hey, no. Hey, I have something. I'm good. Please stop. Please stop. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, Deacon.
Hello. Can you hear my music in the
Morning,
background?
Deacon.
Hello.
I cannot.
Let me go turn it
You're
down.
not the
I
only
can
one
hear
who
it really
drinks a lot
loudly.
of coffee. If I was to make some more.
Okay, good morning. It is Tuesday. What day is it? It's Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, and a Damanai.
Hello. All right. No, I could hear
Good
my
morning,
music really loud. It was blaring back there.
Jam Deacon.
It was Jody Messina. What's up,
I know.
dude? Hello. Hello to
Hello.
this is JJW.
It's just me. It's just me at the moment.
Oh.
I need to.
Oh, there you are.
I need to do. I don't know what I need to do. I need to do something to tell people that we're doing this show. You know, I have family. Do they know I have a YouTube channel or show? No, not at all.
Mine don't either. Don't worry. Mine don't. Ashley watches too, and sometimes, and Alex says that he'll watch sometimes in the morning before school.
I keep thinking about it. I was like, I should tell my dad that I'm on YouTube. He'd probably like to see me every once in a while. And then I don't. I think, you know what I want? I want us to get, like, this is all right, but I think we could polish this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think we
I've
can
got some
polish this
ideas, but
Oh,
yeah.
let me hear your ideas.
Oh, hey.
I like your ideas.
So sometimes my ideas don't work out so well.
It does not involve like a naked cowboy or anything because I'm not doing
Well, forget that freaking idea 1 through 4. Let's see.
that.
What's number 5 here?
Hey, yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember for just like maybe you remember, I don't know. We were in New York. You remember in New York, we were walking around on the street.
Yeah.
I am like 100% certain that we were walking down the street on New York, heading one direction or another. I don't remember what. And this like 65-year-old old lady was walking, I think maybe naked. And I was like, what the hell?
I didn't see that one.
You didn't miss anything good, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was that was a culture shock from I mean, I guess from where both of us live. You kind of live close to a bigger city, but I don't. And that was kind of a culture shock. Remember, you probably don't remember this, but I've told this story about 15 times since I've been back from New York. You were in front of me, and we were walking down the street to where there was there was construction everywhere, but we had to walk through the scaffolding and stuff like that underneath.
Oh, yeah.
And there was some street guys hanging out there, and they were like, yo man, what's up, man? Hey, take my CD, man. I just recorded a rap album. Take my CD. He shoved it in my hand because we were having this conversation before about don't get scammed, to watch out for this and blah blah blah. So we had already had this conversation. This dude shoving a CD in my hand. Hey man, blah blah blah. Yeah, where you from, man? Where you from? And so my dumb ass just said, I'm from Kentucky. And he's like, oh, Kentucky, man, y'all got some good green. Yeah, the good green come from Kentucky. Yeah, man. Hey, man, you got some money, man, maybe pay for, you got any change, man, anything? And I was, at that time, there's a couple of them just kind of hovering. There's like 4 or 5 of them just kind of
vultures.
Like vultures. Yeah, no way. The story gets better. I love this. I'll never forget this story. So I was like, yeah, I'll give them some money just to get the hell out of my face. And so I reached in my pocket. I knew I had a little bit of change in my pocket. I knew I had $1 Subway token left or whatever those little dollar ones were. Yeah. And so I pulled out my change in my hand. I was holding out my hand like this. And in my hand was like the Subway token and a quarter, like maybe 2 quarters and just a couple of dimes, a little change. And as soon as I held out my hand, it was like, woof, and it was gone, man. That one dude that had given me the CD, he grabbed that Subway token like straight off, and then them 2 quarters were gone, and it was just like, and they were gone from my hand. And the next thing I knew,
you got robbed. You got robbed on the street.
As soon as I pulled my hand out and did this, it was gone. That CD was yanked out of my hand, and I was pushed along in the street traffic. And I was just, and I took like 5 steps towards you, and you were a little bit ahead of me because I had stopped to talk to them.
Wow.
And I was like, I just straight up got hustled, man.
I did.
I'm sure that CD, I wasn't going to listen to the damn CD anyway, but I'm sure it was a blank CD. But yeah, I love that story.
Wouldn't that be the case? It was a blank CD. It never even occurred to me that, it would never even occur to me to like, I'll just go out there and try to whip like fake CDs.
How many people are going to listen to those freaking CDs, man? He gets like a blank CD and wrote little NYC on it or whatever, and hey man, you take my album, man. I cut you in the recording studio.
Wow. I did not know that, and this all happened behind me. All I heard was people yapping. Yeah. Like, was this after we went to the bar with it's not Abby, you know who I mean. It was
Arby.
After the Arby. Yeah, it was after the show, and you and me, Bagel, I think we went to a pub or something.
Yeah, we went to that little Irish pub thing.
Oh man,
I don't remember when it was.
Yeah.
It was one of the nights that we were there, and I wasn't there.
Man, you guys can have New York. You can get the whole thing. Like if they did like a wall around New York and like Escape from New York, I'm okay with that. That sounds like a great idea. Just turn the whole island into a prison. You don't need it.
I'm kind of the same way, man. I can't understand the appeal. And that's just not me. That's why I guess everyone's different. Everyone has their own, we don't need to be all like the same shit, because I have no desire whatsoever to ever go back to that city. It was really neat to see, and it's really neat to have those memories, but The only thing is I wish we would have had we only had a couple of days, and I wish I would have had a little bit longer to see some things that I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see the library. I really wanted
Yeah.
to see
The
new
Ghostbusters library. Yes.
Ghostbusters library. I
It
wanted to
was
see
like
the
it was like
Ghostbusters
4 blocks from where we were.
yeah, and I wanted to see the firehouse, the Ghostbusters firehouse. All that
Yeah.
memorial stuff and the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty and all that shit, I could care less about. I mean, I've seen pictures of it. I'm sure it looks pretty shitty when you get up close to it. The pictures look better. I don't have to see it in person. I wanted to see this, and that's what Ashley's like. You want to see the Ghostbusters firehouse?
Yeah.
It's like, yes,
Absolutely.
dude, absolutely.
That is the place to go.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. That was like a couple blocks from where we were too, but we just couldn't make it over there for whatever reason.
And I had one of the other
one time it
things-
was raining.
Yeah, one of the other things that I wanted to see personally was I started playing with a guy, and he was living down on the Texas-Mexican border. And I started playing video games with him many years ago, me and a couple of friends, and he moved to New York City while we were friends and gamer friends. And he was in New York City when I was up there, and I messaged him. I just retweeted him the other day. His name's Solid Knight. So if you're on my tweet, you can see. But he's a good buddy of mine that I had never met in person, and I wanted to go see him, but he had to work, and I was only there, and I had to be back at LaGuardia at like freaking 2 a.m. 3 a.m. I had to be at LaGuardia.
Yeah, your flight was like
My
very
flight was
early.
like at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or some shit. So, yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, I don't are the ones who
Hey, you know,
I think the only people who went to New York are the ones who've never been there.
yeah,
that's
well,
not.
you know, I have a friend who loves New York. She loves to go. Her and her son, they go and they take photos of stuff, and her photos look great, and like it's cool that they enjoy it. But I'm just like,
I know
why. I don't
Man,
understand. It's just, I mean, it's all the light. Is it all the lights and the LEDs? You know, while you're walking around.
Do you think that in 200 years and 100 years that's going to have an effect on the human biology? Because humans are not designed to have this much light, and we're designed to have darkness. We're designed to have a little boredom. That's what
Well,
and
we
don't have
definitely
this stuff
are.
anymore.
We are definitely living currently outside of our parameters of
Yeah.
like what we're designed for surviving.
Yeah.
The fact that we eat 3 meals a day or
Mhm.
5 meals a day or just constantly eating.
You're
like,
exactly right.
You're not supposed to
No.
be able to have that much access to food, but we have so much food. We're rich.
Humans-
We are rich.
Humans
Especially with
throughout
food.
history have battled with that. Was the thing that you thought about from sunup to sundown is eating. Am I going to eat? How am I going to eat? When am I going to eat again? And now we live in a society where we don't have to worry. We've got so much food that I ain't got to eat. I ain't got to worry about eating. I can eat anytime I want.
And you don't have to depend on anyone else in your community or tribe, or you don't have to depend on anybody else to get that, which breaks down those fundamental human relationships of like interdependence. So this stuff we've been doing with that I've been doing with intermittent fasting or whatever, like I'm eating like breakfast, and then I eat like lunch, and when I eat lunch, I'm not even hungry, and then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't care about food. I'm not hungry, but I'm eating less, and I'm eating less often and less overall. And like I'm still way far away from way far away from like the natural human condition of like you have maybe barely enough sustenance, but that's what your body is designed for. It's designed for like you eat sometimes, you don't have food sometimes, and and
so your body
when you don't have food,
you've ate. Yeah, and you're exactly right.
And like this is not something that anybody that our medical community like acknowledges. It's like, oh, eat 3 meals a day, exercise every day. This, like just consume all the time, consume and work, consume and work, consume and work, consume and work. But your body's made to consume and then burn sometimes, and like getting down, got to refill. So we're not as elastic, if that makes any sense. We are not as flexible in like right now if you don't eat 3 meals a day or 5 meals a day or however many, you get hungry and then you get hangry and then you get like irrational and mad and like. So do I think that changing the amount of light that we have every day? Yeah, I mean, sure. The changing the amount of food we have has fundamentally changed social composition and interaction.
And Jeremy says EMF has horrid effects on the body, biology, Wi-Fi, microwaves, radio, ultraviolet light. It's all bad for you in the quantities we take these days. He's exactly right. Ashley and I have had several conversations about that, about the Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and about how these things, radio waves, because I've worked in radio for 30 years. The radio, we still don't understand radio waves. I mean, we think we do,
Right.
but honestly, we don't. We don't understand these freaking radio waves.
So
I've always been amazed by radio waves. It's an amazing thing.
I'm not willing to make as strong an assumption about that because I just don't know. But I mean, like we have throughout the universe, background radiation hitting the Earth. You've got light waves from all different spectrums from the sun, from other planets. We have all this kind of stuff passing through us all the time.
Right.
Now, yeah, radio stations generate more dense concentration of a short throw. And, same thing with microwaves. So I it's not as clear to me how much directly that impacts us. It obviously isn't natural in the way that we're generating
I
it.
see what you're saying, but
It's harder to make a one-to-one like this causes that.
I think that's only because we've only had Wi-Fi for this amount of time.
Right.
Once we have it for this amount of time, we can go back and go, oh, dude, look, this was not good. Or this actually caused the brain to do this. And in 100 years, the Wi-Fi has caused the brain to do this. And this is what the cause, it's going to take, that's why I'm always like, wherever I am in the afterlife, I hope that you can be able to like look back at the earth, or look up at the earth and be like, what's going on up there today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to be able to go, okay, in 400 years, what is the shit that we're doing today? How is that going to impact the world in 400 years? What's technology going to be like? Because what's the worst of technology and what's going to be the best of technology? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were talking about New York and all the lights and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I wonder if all the lights and the constant stimulation and all that all the time do you think that has the effect on the, hey, I'm walking here type of attitude? Because
I think there's a lot more components to it than that, but the perpetual stimulation, the
plays a
disconnect, the human disconnect between yourself and your presence on the earth beneath the sun, that being totally disrupted by having your day-night schedule. Just it doesn't matter because it's always day, because it's always light. You can just constantly be stimulated.
And I mean, you pack people on top of each other and just keep packing them on top of each other. That's how swarms get started. And I mean, I can see how, because I work at a radio station. If there were 20 people that worked in this little building all the time on top of each other, I'd be pissed off probably all day too. But I work here by myself. So I'm in Montana. So that means when somebody comes in, I'm like, hi, friend, come on in. You know?
Right.
So
I think the high density urban population is definitely a problem. It's just obvious. People are broken creatures, and human ambitions are going to cause you to cheat sometimes to get stuff you want, right? And that means that certain percentage of the population is just always going to commit crime, hurt people, whatever. And the more people you have in a smaller area, it just scales, and it causes a chain reaction. So now 150 years ago, maybe urban planning or concentrated people made things more efficient because you could have more resource labor in the same area, and then you could generate more resources, more food or whatever. But we now have like commercial farming and commercial food production that it doesn't make sense for production that way, and it doesn't necessarily make sense for other resource gathering. It makes a little bit of sense for having access to a workforce if you need to produce to manufacture stuff. But let me tell you something: America doesn't make stuff anymore. so instead, we're just left with high concentration urban areas, and No,
We may-
no benefit. No
Mhm.
benefit. So I think the future model, unless we bring back manufacturing and bring back like production and things like that, I don't know if it's going to happen again for a while. The high density model has more cons than pros, and we need to spread our population out a little bit and let our populations have smaller communities. Humans are, good morning, Dragoon. Humans are designed to live in tribes. We're, small communities where your neighbors and you work with your neighbors to interact. So I just,
That's what my last name means. My real last name, Rudd, Rudd, like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd does not come from us. He was Jewish. His last name is actually the real last name of Paul Rudd, the actor, is like Rudinsky or Radunsky or something. They
oh
changed
yeah.
their name to Rudd, but when
Mhm.
but the Rudd name comes from Scandinavia up, like 200-300 BC. The people that lived up there, the Viking type people, would clear out a circular area in a forest, and they would call that a rud, an RUD. And then they would take all that wood and they would make like a little community in that forest, a small community. And so the people at the time would call the people that lived in that, the people that live in that community, those are the Ruds. They live in the Rud. Those are the
Right.
Ruds. And that is the earliest known usage of my last name, Rudd. So yeah, that means community. I think that's weird.
Well,
You're right on all this,
I mean,
though.
well, I don't know, but I just, like I do live near a city, but like I don't go down the heart of it at all, and
Right,
I would
right,
not walk it at all. Like
right. And
I
I'm sure
go
there's
to and from my office.
a lot of people that are like that live in New York and live in the big cities. They probably don't prefer to live there, but the choice job wise and stuff like that is
Right.
they think that they have to live there because they make a $200,000 a year job. And that's the only place they're going to get it is in New York City or these bigger cities. You're going to get a $200,000 a year job, which you're probably right. But also with that $200,000 a year job, Ashley's a real estate agent. So if you're wanting to buy any real estate in Kentucky, contact at Dad Deacon on Twitter. So I have to do that or I'll stay in the
Pitch.
doghouse.
Pitch.
Yeah. She'll be like, did you promote me? I'm like, yes, I did. But no, we'll see that. And she'll send me stuff all the time. Like bargain apartment in New York, 400 square feet, only $2.3 million. It's like, they're like, for $2.3 million in Kentucky, for as much that
You'd
you're
have a ranch
in,
probably.
oh my God. For $2.4 million in Kentucky, you could have 1,000 acres and more
Yeah.
with a 5,000 square foot mansion. It's
That sounds like a
the
lot to
price
claim.
of the price. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot to heat in the air. That the price is different. So yeah, you move to these rural areas and you're not going to find the $200,000 a year job or, all over the place, but you are not going to find the house that in California that's $1.7 million is only like $300,000 or $400,000 here. I went down to Birmingham one time with a friend, and he had his girlfriend was from Birmingham, and I asked her. We were driving around. I was like, "Hey, can we drive around and see some of the big rich houses in Birmingham?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." She took me around, and we were driving around, and we was looking. There were some nice houses, but I was like, "Where's these big houses?" She's like, "They're here. Here's the houses," and they just look like houses that, some of the nicer houses in our area.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "That's like a $400,000 house or $300,000 house in our area." And they're like, "Oh, that's a $3 million house here." Oh, well,
3
okay.
million. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, my cash out. I'm gonna cash out, sell my house for 3 million, and then where's your house gonna be? What's your my next house is 4 million. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the indefinite cycle of debt. You
Okay.
can't get out of it.
Hey, we haven't even said a news story yet.
Nah, I know. I got him lined up here. I was trying to.
I've enjoyed our conversation though. I like talking.
Yeah,
about
it's pretty
it.
good. Pretty good. So Jeremy says that the globalists are trying to UN 2021 agenda globalists who want to outlaw wildlands and stack and pack people. And I'm sure that there's some people that have that. Well, this is I don't know I don't know a lot about that. I know that there are probably some people that have some maybe good intentions, maybe sinister intentions about like how do we get urban populations to behave or be more conscious or just be less harmful or whatever. And so some people, especially people that are powerful and have the tools to be successful in a lot of ways, those people think that they can like come up with a system to get people to behave and incentivize people to act a certain way. Here's the thing. Humans will always default to F you, I'm going to do what I want eventually. And so you can build the best system of like getting social control and get everybody to work together. And then there's going to be somebody or somebody's kids or somebody's grandkids. They're going to be like, you guys set up the system. I didn't have a say in this. F you, I'm out. I don't want to be involved. And if you don't allow for the system to be changed by those people peacefully, then it will be changed by burning it down. That happens every time throughout history. The only reason America has worked this long is because we are flexible enough to make changes. And what's happened in the last century is that power has consolidated at the federal level to the point where, states and individual communities have less autonomy to make their own choices about what they value. And the more that the federal government grips down, the more we have the reaction of anti-authoritarian, anti-federal, anti-government, which is basically where I live right now. It's like, man, just keep all of your crap to yourself. Just let me live. And,
Yep.
and they push too hard and people push back. My point is you cannot make a system that folds everyone in and keeps them there. The only way to keep them there is to purge the ones that will revolt. Yep. There will always be some that revolt because there's always going to be somebody that wants liberty instead of rules. I want to take risks instead of your guarantees.
If you're going to purge those people are probably the ones more likely to have weapons. So how are we going? We need to take those weapons away from those people first before we attempt to purge those people, because we can't. You understand? If you're not going to go in and try to purge a person that has illegal rights to have weapons. All right, we're going to try to find some way to reduce the number of weapons, that we're going to have to face, potentially face.
Mine fell in a lake though. That was sad. I miss them.
I know that is sad when you have weapons fall in the lake, because I've had a bunch. Yeah, I've heard of people that's had some fall in the lake.
Too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's pick up on some stories that we had yesterday, because there's some news that I really want to get to. But we'll start with we'll see how it was. I think the thread here. We're just going to start with the Dugans. Okay.
Okay.
So yesterday I mentioned that. Yeah, Alexander Dugin and his daughter Daria. We reread their story. Yeah, the Dugans. Sorry,
Dugans.
Yeah, the Dugans. So it appears that some new details have emerged about the bomb that killed Alexander Dugin's daughter. The bomb that killed his. This is from Timcast.com. Timcast got rated, by the way, as 82 out of 100. So,
all right, way to go, Tim.
Not fake news. Tim's a good guy. He's about the only guy I trust. Trust is a strong word.
We went to school together, me and Tim.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Chicago, Jews in Chicago.
Right down.
So Daria, 29, had left a family festival in Moscow area that her father was speaking at when the vehicle she was driving exploded. So it was a bomb, and so let's see. According to investigators, on August 20th. Around 9 p.m. in the Odintsovo urban district near the village of oh my God, these Russian words.
Yeah.
Bolshaye Vazami.
Gotcha.
Vyazami, an explosive device presumably installed in the Toyota Land Cruiser, went off on a public road and the car caught fire. The female driver died at the scene. We established the identity of the deceased, the journalist and political analyst Daria Dugina. thought it was Dugan. So why didn't it? Okay, whatever. Maybe that's some Russian thing. The department said that in a message on its Telegram channel, which is translated by the Russian news. Where's the new details? This is not new details. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman Maria Zakova said that if Kiev is implicated in the murder, it will be considered state terrorism. So Russia is accusing Ukraine of bombing the Dugin in an attempt to kill Alexander Dugin, her father and noted Russian intellectual.
Faza. All right. Well, okay. Once again.
So the Mikhail Podolyak, advisor to the Ukrainian presidential office, denied that Kyiv was involved in the assassination. I confirm that Ukraine, of course, had nothing to do with this because we are not a criminal state like that of the Russian Federation and definitely not a terrorist state. So Russia is saying that Ukraine is responsible, which I find a credible accusation given that Russia just invaded Ukraine this year. Ukraine is saying they didn't do it, and I don't know that I believe them. And now it could be that, because this is obviously a sloppy kill, right? It's sloppy in that cars don't blow up on their own. So, somebody did something. So this is a sloppy hit. So it makes sense if it was an attack by Ukraine by a small group that had very little resources, or it would make sense if it was the FSB, Russian FBI or CIA or whatever, trying to make it look like the Ukrainians did it in order to,
This sounds like a damn Quentin Tarantino movie.
I know, right?
I mean, like what you just said. What if it was like in this little town? What if some guy overheard that this guy was going to be here? This top Russian official guy was going to be here. So he says it to somebody else. The word gets around, and they've got like this little, we're going to get this guy. We're going to be Russian heroes. We're going to stop this and save this from this crap that's happening that we don't agree with. And so they plan this thing. And at the last freaking minute, he changed cars.
Yep.
And then it blows up and gets his dog. This is like a movie, man. This is like a movie plot.
So not only is Russia saying Ukraine did this, they are naming a suspect too. Russia, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know this person, but Russia's Federal Security Service, or FSB, the main successor of the KGB, said Dugina's killing was prepared and perpetrated by the Ukrainian Special Services. The FSB said a Ukrainian citizen, Natalia Volk, carried out the killing and then fled to Estonia. In Estonia, the Prosecutor General's office said in a statement carried out by the Baltic News Services that, quote, it has not received any requests or inquiries from the Russian authorities on this topic. So Russia FSB is pinning this hit on Natalia Volk, who has I guess a Russian passport because she was in she resided in the Donetsk district of the eastern of Ukraine or whatever, which has got a lot of Russian supporters or whatever. So Russia's pinning it on this particular Ukrainian and saying that she was. So what if this was a Ukrainian, but what if it wasn't the Ukrainian state? What if it was one Ukrainian whose, I don't know, entire family got killed or her city got destroyed by Russia, and so she went on a mission to go into Russia, pose as a Russian, and take out Alexander Dugin. What if that happened?
I'm telling you.
This is like it's like a Tom Clancy novel or something. Anyway, so I don't know. We're gonna have to see. And you know what? It doesn't matter who says what, who did what. We can't trust anybody. Everybody's probably lying.
Probably.
So anyway, but Russia has at least named a suspect. So here you can see some of the wreck or whatever. So there's Vladimir Putin. If you've never seen Vladimir Putin before, imagine
Where
him
have you been
bare
in the
chested
world?
on the back of a horse, and you may have seen him like that because he's a tough guy. And this is Alexander Dugin, the attempted assassination victim. So
Right.
his and he lost his daughter. And okay, so
Boo.
Russia.
Yeah.
Well, I know your sympathies are low for Russian victims right now.
I just have very low sympathy for dumbasses. I don't care what country you're from.
So, okay, connected to the topic of Russia, as you will recall, not only is Russia at war with Ukraine and drawing the whole rest of the world into that mess as well,
Ron,
and not only is
I got 30 seconds before I have to talk for a minute.
okay,
Right.
let me just say, somebody's going to Russia and they're going to make a difference because Russia is also
Oh, I want to talk about
keeping
this. Yeah.
an American. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Russia is keeping an American athlete, Miss Griner, for 9 years. She got convicted for having pot vape cartridges or whatever, and Russia convicted her, and she's sentenced to 9 years in prison. So the Biden administration is doing their golly darndest to get her home, but I guess they're not doing a good enough job. But that's okay because we've got a hero in the wings. He is going to save this young girl. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Rodman is going to Russia to bring home the imprisoned WNBA star Griner. If there's anyone that can do this, if there's anyone at all, it's former NBA star Dennis Rodman. If you recall, he did go to North Korea and prevent a North Korean nuclear war with America. Dennis Rodman says he plans to visit Russia to help free WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was sentenced earlier this month to 9 years in prison for drug smuggling. I got permission to go visit Russia. I got permission to go to Russia to help that girl, Rodman told NBC News on Saturday. I'm trying to go this week. A senior Biden administration official said that Rodman, who is known for his relationship with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, is more likely to hurt than help bring home Griner. Quote, it's public information that the administration has made a significant offer to the Russians, and anything other than negotiating further along the established channel is likely to complicate and hinder release efforts, the official said, likely referring to a reported potential prisoner swap. Yeah, I think that Biden is trying to offer a Russian arms dealer in exchange for Brittany Griner.
Can I point out a couple of things here real quick?
Yeah.
In this story for the people that are listening in at home, taking notes. Dennis Rodman, if you will remember, some of you might not have been alive, might not know, he was a rebounding basketball player. It's basically the only thing he could do was rebound, and he was very good at it. And he was a good basketball player. He was professional. Then he got wackadoodle crazy and decided he was going to be friends with North Korea. And so him doing anything with any country is like a joke. It has now become laughable. And the second thing that I'd like to point out is this girl can throw a ball through a circle really well. Why in the shit should we give a shit about her and her marijuana busted in another country where she wasn't supposed to have it when there are people in this country that are been serving decades in prison for just marijuana crimes? There was nothing else that they were convicted for. No weapons, no other drugs, no anything. All they had was marijuana, and they've been in prison for a long time in this country. Why should I? I mean, I'm just offering this point of view again. Why should I care about some girl, anyone that can throw a ball? She can throw a ball through a hoop. That's great. You know, does that make you more
So,
important
do
than
you have
anybody
any
else.
idea why she was in Russia in the first place? Because
I don't give a
we,
crap why she's in Russia, but
I
she
mean,
should have known as soon as Russia starts invading other freaking countries that it's probably a time to get the shit out of Russia. I mean, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. She's a basketball player, and I've known some basketball players in my life, and they are not on the academic side of things. I'm not saying anything detrimental or anything that we probably
Oh, I
don't
mean,
already know, but
there's
if you
there's
80% of
brilliant
your time
basketball
playing
players and there's
basketball and
average
not
ones
80%
too.
of your time reading, you don't understand. But I mean, that's all I'm saying. Maybe she didn't realize that I need to get out of the damn
Well,
country.
you
Maybe she
gotta.
didn't realize that maybe if you're traveling to a country, maybe you need to know the damn laws. You know,
So there's
maybe because it's
definitely an arrogance of Americans traveling around the world and thinking that we can flaunt
just
the
do whatever
laws
the
and
hell we
cultures
want
of
to.
other places.
Mhm.
And
In all those other countries, when I read those stories and stuff about arrogant Americans and these Americans that did this in their country and how they hate Americans, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I hate Americans too. They're a bunch of assholes. We know the ones that you see are the ones that we don't like either. The
yeah,
ones that you see on TV, I've said this to Ashley a billion times. I'm like, every single Christian that they show on TV is the worst, is not a Christian. They're not, and every one of these things that they're like, Christians say this, and I'm like, no, they don't. The person that says they're a Christian is saying that is a liar. You know what I mean? So
So I don't know. I really don't have any problem with Russians, right? And uh, and I don't have a dog in the fight in the Russia Ukraine thing. Miss Griner broke the law in Russia,
mhm,
and the law in Russia is apparently, I guess I wouldn't know,
severe.
really severe for drug charges. And that's really unfortunate. And if we can get her back, I would like to get her back. And hey, don't
I
be
let you get her
stupid.
back, but serve your time, pay your punishment.
I mean,
If,
yeah,
if
I don't know. I don't really want to hang her out to dry, but that's not what this is. This is she went to Russia. Why did she go to Russia? I don't know.
I don't want to,
Maybe that's part of the story. But
Russia didn't come
now,
and kidnap her while she was in the Olympics, like the freaking Iranians back in the day.
right
She was getting on a plane or she was doing whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we can get her back, that's great. But don't trade a fucking arms dealer for her.
now,
Don't
I
trade
will say
anybody
this.
for her. Hey,
Let me.
can we get her back? No. Okay, serve your time. We'll see, and we'll try to get it lowered.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have.
Now, are we going to run a special mission to break you out of Russia and
If me or
gulag?
you went to Russia and got
No.
locked up, if me or you went to Russia and got locked up, done the exact same thing that this girl did, do you think there would have been a news story written about us?
No,
Do you think there would have been a
dude.
deal? Do you think there'd have been anything like this? Do you think?
No.
Okay,
I know
why
for a
should I give
fact that you would
why
be
should I
some
give a shit?
Russian criminal's girlfriend. That's what would happen.
Drop
So
this soap.
now, is Dennis Rodman going to make things better or worse? Well,
Worse.
first of all, how can he make things worse? Joe Biden is completely incompetent and inept and not taken seriously by anyone, especially Putin. However,
You make a good
Dennis
point.
Rodman is obviously a wackadoodle, like eccentric dude, and he might actually be charming enough to Putin that something could happen.
You make a
That
good
is
point.
actually possible.
You know,
So
Rodman could
let
probably
him go.
talk that Putin is probably like the most narcissistic son of a bitch that you've ever seen, like in 200 years. He's probably up there with his narcissism. Narcissism is
I
probably
think
way up
he's
there.
a medium intelligent, like I don't know, autistic person.
I think
Well, I
Rodman.
say autistic, but like he's I don't know if I mean autistic. I think he's of medium intelligence, and
I think he's intelligent.
but he's ruthless.
Yeah.
He's ruthless and doesn't and
I think to be in those type of positions, you've got to be at least for as long as Putin has, you got to be at least a little bit of intelligence or have some intelligent people
Right.
around you in that type of position. Now, don't give me in America, it's completely different. You
Can-
don't have to be intelligent to get into office.
Can Dennis Rodman go to Russia and be like, yeah, I'm a clown, and a lot of Americans are clowns, and we don't really have anything to do with whatever Ukraine is doing. Like this hasn't got anything to do with that. This is just plays basketball. Let her go. So Jeremy is insinuating that she's like, I don't know, some sort of a secret agent or something. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey,
All I
Is
got's the headlines, and
is
the
it
headlines are
logical?
like, it makes
Is
sense
it
to me that a 20-something-year-old girl would think that, hey, I'm kind of famous, I'm gonna go globetrotting or get invited to play a game or something, and
right?
I'm gonna
Now
make some
pause.
bad decisions. That all makes sense.
Right. 20-year-old girl, really good at basketball. She's going to play in other countries. She's going to play in this country and this country, and you know it, and you're part of the clandestine government organization trying to get. So, hey, 20-year-old girl that's going to be in these damn countries anyway, you would be very unsuspecting. Do you want to
Oh
try to
shit,
gather information
she's
for
almost
us?
she's 40.
Or 40?
Oh wait,
However
that's hold on, that's the wrong Britney. That's Britney
she-
Spears.
Yeah.
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone. I'm a Britney Spears fan. Yeah. Jeremy's right. Yeah, me and Jeremy think,
Hey,
yeah.
that's my socks. Don't take my socks.
Don't take my socks. Those are my Pokemon socks.
Get hit in the face with socks.
Chuck Barris.
Come on.
Chuck Barris. That's right.
She's
Barris from
born
the
in
Gong
1990.
Show?
Oh, she's from Houston. She's from my city. Brittany Griner is from Houston.
Chuck
She's
Barris
6'9".
from the Gong Show, dude.
Jeez. Yeah. No, I'm pretty certain that this is just a
That was a good
30-something-year-old foolish person. Yep. Too bad.
That
Hey,
was a
but
good movie, Jeremy.
more-
I don't remember the name of that movie now. I have to look it up. It had Sam Rockwell as Chuck Barris.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that movie called? It was it.
I used to watch the
like
Gong Show when I was
Con-
little. Confessions of Dangerous Minds. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
That had it had Clooney in it too.
All right. Well, so
Good stuff.
we got a few minutes, and then I got to wake my kids up. But we had some breaking news yesterday. On America's favorite topic, of course. A judge
Trump.
cites. Yes, that's right.
How
Hey,
did I know?
this guy's makes headlines every day. He's not. He can't
right.
tweet, and every day he's making headlines. Judge cites public and historical interest and rejects the Biden administration's bid to keep the Mar-a-Lago search affidavit sealed. So the people that are offended by Trump getting raided want to know what was in the affidavit that was the reasoning that signed the warrant that let you go into his closet and take all of his stuff without any legal counsel present.
Trump does not want people to see his collection of personal back massagers that they found.
Hey, man, you're a billionaire. You can have all the massages you want. It has nothing to do with anything. Judge Bruce Reinhart, who approved the search warrant authorizing the Trump raid on Mar-a-Lago, said on Monday that the raid was unprecedented and formally rejected the Biden administration's argument to keep the affidavit sealed, citing intense public and historical interest. Reinhart said in a filing that he rejects the government's argument that the present record justifies keeping the entire affidavit under seal. The government argues that even requiring it to redact portions of the affidavit that could not reveal agent identities or investigate sources and methods imposes an undue burden on its resources and sets a precedent that could be disruptive and burdensome in future cases. You'll make our job hard if you do that. I do not need to reach the question of whether in some case these concerns could justify denying public access. They very well might, particularly given the intense public and historical interest in an unprecedented search of the former president's residence.
so?
The government has not yet shown that these administrative concerns are sufficient to justify sealing. So it is hereby ordered that by the deadline, the government shall file under seal a submission addressing the possible redactions and providing any additional evidence or legal argument that the government believes relevant to the pending motions to unseal. Okay, so the judge said, no, we're going to show some of this. You got to put some paperwork in to justify redacting the rest of it.
No.
But, so the government's excuse is, oh, you're going to expose agent names. You're going to put them in danger. Well,
It's part of the job. And then
Mr. Trump had an additional statement yesterday, which was of significance. Over on Truth Social, the real Donald Trump said, "We have filed a motion in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, strongly asserting my rights under the including under the Fourth Amendment of our Constitution, that is illegal search and seizure, regarding the unnecessary, unwarranted, and un-American break-in by dozens of FBI agents. I think there were 30, so that's like 2 dozens. And two and a half dozens, and others of my home, Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida. So he's filing a motion under district court under his Fourth Amendment rights. We are going to see where this goes.
Wait, I got a question. Is that the name of his estate, Mar-a-Lago, or is that
it's like a golf? Isn't it? I think it's like a golf a golf resort thing or something like that. And then like he has a residence in there. That is a 50% guess on my part, because I don't know. Trump lives there, but I thought that he tried to get the G7 hosted there while he was president, and that was obviously a bit of a conflict of interest. So I think it is a resort destination of some kind as well. That's all that I know. So Mr. Trump has filed a suit in the district. So like this story's got layers. We got the judge saying you can't keep the secret, the reason why you issued a search warrant. And Trump says, even if you kept it a secret, my rights were violated. My legal counsel was forced to leave and not be present while you were digging around in my house. You tried to get my security cameras turned off. So yeah, this is like this could be a bunch of nothing, but it still looks bad for the government. So Mr. Trump's going to definitely play this fiddle, because he's real good at this stuff. He's real good at taking something that might be a nothing and making it look real bad for the government or whoever his political enemy is.
The Winter White House.
I mean, DC is totally a swamp. So why wouldn't you want to go down to Florida during the winter? So
I got a piece of apple caught in my tooth.
Good. You teach that apple something. Teach it a lesson. No. There's other than that, there's just little stories. I mentioned the other day that it's probably going to be a 50-50 Senate. Well, Mitch McConnell has already kind of given up and been like, well, it's not likely that we're going to overturn the Senate. That's your boy, Mitch McConnell. I almost brought it up because I know that's your senator.
Well, he's my senator, but for my state. But I've liked some of the things that Mitch has done for our area of Kentucky.
And you should.
Right. He has done a lot of positive things for our area of Kentucky. I cannot deny that.
Right.
But everything else that he's done has been like, yikers. The balance is not off. So,
well, listen, a representative is supposed to serve his constituents. He's supposed to go to Washington and try to get as much as he can for his constituents. Everyone should be doing that. It's whenever they start acting like, oh, we're a national figure and, we're doing something for the whole country. That's when they're lying to you, because they're really just doing it for themselves. You can trust someone who is openly just trying to get for his community because he's trying to do a good job and get reelected. That's honest. It may screw over some other Americans, but that's at least honest. Whenever they start acting like national interest and, doing something for the whole American people, that's just a lie. They're still just doing stuff for themselves. They're just lying to you.
Themselves, yeah, they're just lying to you.
Anyway, McConnell kind of got under fire for basically giving up, not being optimistic enough that the Republicans can win the Senate, which they probably can't win the Senate. But you don't go around right before a game being like, well, our team's probably gonna lose this one. So he's taking some heat from Trump, who loves to just throw crap at McConnell because McConnell did him dirty with that impeachment stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, politics is the new American pastime, Deacon. I know you may just love talking about it, but it is the thing that we all watch as entertainment.
I used to really get into it. I followed it all the time. And I
Yeah.
noticed that I was an angry person.
Well,
I was just upset all the time. It seemed about something or complaining about something, or I was,
right.
I was just. It wasn't that I was angry or upset all the time, but I just had this negative disposition that I just didn't. I look back on it now that. And I look and I did notice I did have a negative disposition. Have my feelings changed? Not so much. I still feel the exact, maybe a little different than I did back then as I've gotten older. But I try not to, if I don't expose myself to it, I don't go off on one of these little deacon rants that I go on this
Hey,
show,
hey,
makes my blood pressure go up. I have to take
we
a
need
damn
those
pill.
rants, and then I need to clip those rants and use that as our shorts. We haven't
No.
triggered a rant in long enough. We are building. We need to build up the steam.
Well,
Yeah.
there's 2 or 3 topics that will get me instantly fired up.
Oh, what are those? I can put those into my search routine.
Marvel
Let me-
Contest of Champions. No.
Yeah. Oh, it's another month, and Kabam is releasing another terrible character.
We were promised 2 years ago for the Galactus character, and we on the podcast we tried to guess what it was going to be and all this, and I understand the reasoning. Did you
Hey.
see the character that finally came out that was Galactus? It's
Oh, no, I haven't.
It is an alternate universe.
Is it a cloud?
No. That would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
It's a Galactus looking guy named Galen.
Yeah. Galen is the entity that is Galactus, survived the prior universe. So in Marvel, the universe ends, and then a new universe begins, and then the universe ends, and the new universe begins. Galen, Galactus, is a holdover from the prior universe, and Celestials are also entities that existed from the prior manifestation of the universe. Whoa, he looks terrible. That's, you know what? That's pretty much exactly what I expect from Kabam. It looks awful.
I was such a Kabam fan, and I still am. Don't get me wrong.
That looks terrible.
You don't like that Dormammu? That one's better than the freaking one we got.
Where's the Dormammu? I don't see a Dormammu.
That was Dormammu, wasn't it?
No, I only see your big picture. Your big splash page. It's if you're doing other pop-ups, it's not showing them.
Oh, it's not showing.
No, I'm just doing your search screen. That's all we see is your search screen.
Why didn't it go? Oh, wait, because it went to a pop-up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if it doesn't pop
bad.
up, it doesn't show you. You have to show your whole desktop or something. Turn the sound off. Hey, speaking of comics, I got a comic in last week, but I haven't read it yet. But I think you'll like it. Well, let's see your photos.
No, I was just going to show you the one those Dormammu that I was looking at, and you're like, "That's not Dormammu." I was like, "Oh yeah, it is."
Yeah. All right. So I got this in last week, but I just opened it last night. I haven't read it yet. But this is called Fiendish. Let me turn my blurry off. I got a reason to tell you about this.
Okay.
It's not a very good reason. It's not a very good reason. Here, am I unblurry? Fiendish. This is by Irene Damn. My desk is at a slope and my mouse just falls all the time. Irene Strakowski. She used to work for Marvel, DC, whatever. And she's actually she's pretty cool. She's probably a little bit left, I guess, politically, but she's a cool chick. And got attacked by her peers for joining Comicsgate and doing created her own thing. So she's been working on this for a couple of years, and I don't know, got basically ousted by the comic pros, and published this and came over to Comicsgate, and Comicsgate was like, "We don't care what you believe. That looks great. We'll support you." And so I bought her book. She got there's Heather Antos. You probably don't know who Heather Antos is. Heather Antos and a bunch of people like this. The the milkshake girls at Marvel and those like they turned on her and attacked her for doing her own thing. And so they literally attacked her on Twitter. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, I had seen this and I was like, I don't really care about this kind of stuff. But then I saw them attack her on Twitter and I was like, oh, fuck you guys. I'm going to go give her some money. So I bought her book. It's called Fiendish. And it's basically inspired by for Irene. Let's just flip a page open here. It's basically inspired by like anime and like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. So
really?
Yeah. But it's about, I think it's about, well, I'll just read the back plate. No, I'm not going to read all of this. So I think they're fighting demons. So it's like Dungeons and Dragons, kind of anime style, and they're like fighting these fiendish monsters, whatever. Irene is about to launch a second campaign, I think maybe this month or something like that, for Fiendish 2. So if this looks interesting, but it has kind of like, it's definitely got some like Dungeons and Dragons like aesthetic, like very much. Part of this campaign that I got was actually a bunch of like these trading cards of the characters. So my light is just blowing out the image there. So like there's a, I don't know, so a girl that's got like a sword or something, and here's like a
light shining on it.
Yeah, it's super bright. How do I? Yeah. So there's like a guy with axes. This is like an archer type guy.
Yeah.
So character. So. But it came with all these like playing cards. And then here's one of these fiendish monsters. So like a demon thing. So it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons versus demons. And here's a like wizard chick. And it takes place in this land of Arvos. So wizard chick, Arvos. Anyway, so I haven't checked it out yet. I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. But I don't know. My message to you is, hey, if you want to like check out some Dungeons and Dragons type comics, this one looks good. And if you want to just tell woke people that, try to cancel people that want to be creative, well, if you want to say, hey, F you, I'm going to support creative people, this is a good project for it. And I'll have a link for this, I guess, in the description. I'll add it to the description.
Haven't you gotten into some arguments with some people that's like, JJ, why do you support Comicsgate?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, in fact, I got kind of like hassled. So this is funny. This is a funny story. So I was posting on Twitter and I was like, hey, I like this, that, or whatever, or I was talking shit about people. And then some of them got onto me and they were like, hey, take this book off of your Comicsgate list. They're not Comicsgate, da da da. And I was like, how about instead of that? Oh, good morning, dear. I'll maybe finish my story in a second. Good morning, my darling. Oh,
Good morning, Dad.
good morning. So I said, instead of me doing what you say, how about you do whatever you want with your own money, and I will. Come here, showstopper. Okay. And then, and I'll do whatever I want with mine. And then they hassled me. And then like a whole team of them, like 30 or 40 of them jumped on me on Twitter and they were all responding, calling me names and stuff. So instead of like fighting with them, I just put them on a list. So I made a Twitter list. It's called Anti-Comicsgate. And I just put them on a list. And I was like, oh, Anti-Comicsgate. I don't know if they're a creator or not, but if they are, I'm never going to support them. And then every once in a while, I go back and I check the list and just see what they're talking about. And surprise, surprise, it's a bunch of PERV stuff. It's really gross. So then I just randomly go and check my list. And then I'm like, oh, nasty. And then I report them to Twitter. And so far, I have a 100% success rate of reporting PERVs to Twitter. And Twitter gives them strikes. So they attacked me. And I'm just like, you really can't be posting this stuff on the internet.
How much time that we have as fathers now.
Yeah.
To do stuff like this. I sit here behind this computer for 10 hours a day. And today it's going to be about 16 hours that I sit behind this computer. So I need things to do.
Yeah. You're going to tell me what to do.
Got a microphone.
Please, hang on just a second. All right. Nope.
Listen,
don't touch the microphone.
I'm going to tell you this one more time because I've said this to you before, but if your wife is listening, you need to do this. turn on your audio recording program, turn on that microphone, and let those little girls have fun with that microphone, and then save it.
Are you speaking?
Hi. Can they hear me? No. Oh, it's muted. Something happened. They hit a button. Can't hear you.
Hi, Mr. Duck.
Hi, Mr. Duck.
Hi.
It's Deacon. It's Deacon.
What could I say? Hi to Deacon.
Yeah, say hi to Deacon. He can hear you.
I can't hear him.
All right.
'Cause he
All right.
don't have that
Well,
balance.
ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:34. It is Tuesday, August 23rd. And that's Deacon. I'm JJ. We've been your two dads. Please join us every morning.
Whoa.
Now, please join us every morning for coffee and news and politics and culture and pop culture and all kinds of awesome stuff. And if you haven't already, hit the like on the button and share this video out with your friends
They made you
on-
get that
on
little
Twitter
microphone.
and Facebooks and things like that. Well,
They want you to get the little microphone.
oh, little microphone. I'm totally going to get the little microphone.
You get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye.
Bye,
Up
Daddy,
at
I
the light. Wave at the light. Wave at the light. Wave at the light.
Daddy, but
Yes.
Dad, I want to say hi to Deacon.
Well, say hi. He can hear you.
I can't because
Look at him.
I can't hear him.
Oh, you can't hear him. Okay, here, hold on.
Hi, Deacon. Hi, Mr. Deacon.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Deacon.
Are you excited for school today?
Yes.
Ah.
Is it
I
fun?
want you to get the little microphone.
Okay. All right, that's it. We're leaving. Bye.